the 20, we're ready to go. 136 consecutive home crowds of more than 100,000 at Michigan today. And the sun is out still, warming up the countryside. It's been a kind of a cool gray week, but it's certainly a festive moment as the ball is in the air. And the kick by Jay Feely goes beyond the field of play. And Colorado will come out to the 20 for a first down. The chilly starting lineup for the Colorado Buffaloes. The offense can throw, but they need some run. The offensive line, 310-pound tackle Mel Thomas, the leader. Receivers, they don't have the speed of last year's group, but Savoy and Cheverini is solid. The backs, John Hessler carries a gun at quarterback, but as I said, they don't have that big running back. Herschel Troutman will open in there at the tailback spot, and it probably will be a single back much of the day for Colorado, though you will see them at times in a split and at times in a power eye. The first play of the game is given to Troutman. He finds daylight over the left side, and he moves the football out to about the 27-yard line. The Michigan defense, new coordinator there, Jim Herman, good pressure people up front, but they were split that time. Eric Mays is a co-captain at linebacker, good young people here in reserve. Number 2, Charles Woodson, the main man in the secondary, but there are a lot of young people there too, especially in the backup roles. The front liners in the secondary are all veterans. It'll be second down and call it 2 for the Colorado Buffaloes. And Hessler's first pass of the day is away, and it is incomplete. Hessler was teetotaled by the pressure from up front. It was the Andre Weathers coming from the outside to get the quarterback, and the ball went off the hands of Savoy, the intended receiver.
Now the game is on, Keith. Michigan had their nickel package in. They had a corner blitz. If that ball is caught, there was some room to run in the secondary.
Yeah, he might still be running all the way to Flint. He had a lot of room.
I think the pressure of Weathers on Hessler forced him to throw it a little bit high.
So it'll be third down and 2 for the Buffaloes, and they come wide to the bottom of the picture. Savoy is down there, and it is a little dump off to the right side intended for Troutman out of the backfield. But again, the Michigan pressure caused him to release the ball a little far away from his target. And so Michigan's defense does the job. Now Charles Woodson will go back upfield onto the punt. Nick Peach will come in. He is a sophomore out of Seattle, Washington for his first punt of the day. Woodson is standing just beyond the 30-yard line, and Peach should hit this around the 16. Now Michigan gets the 11th man on the field, and the kick is away. It's a shank off the side of the foot and takes a Michigan bounce. It goes all the way inside the 45 and is finally downed at the Colorado 44. Not a good kick. The net is only 16 yards. The chilly starting lineup for the Michigan Wolverines. The offensive front, there have been more moves here than a 12-hour chess game. It's talented, but it's young. The receivers, a position of strength among the starters. The reserves, young. The backs, a good blend here of experience, and there's depth in the backfield. The Colorado defense, there's great speed here. Great foot speed on the Colorado defense. So Brian Griese comes out, number 14, a fifth-year senior. He worked and waited and now finally gets the starting call in the opening game of the 1997 season. Shaw is in motion. They'll run it with number 8, Chris Howard. And Howard, the bigger of the backs at 216 pounds, will get the ball maybe about a 2-yard pickup on it. The defense along the front, it's very good for Colorado, especially the tackles Olson and Mau. The linebackers, Navies is a destroyer. He ain't a cruiser, he's a destroyer. Murkison is the big strong man, and the secondary, the safeties are tough guys against the run, but they can be had by the pass. You got trips at the top of the screen, 3 wideouts, and Griese back for his first pass, goes the other way, complete to Howard. Howard getting a convoy down the field for a first down at the Colorado 33-yard line. Marcus Washington, the boundary corner, made the tackle for Colorado.
Michigan goes to 4 wide receivers. The Buffaloes come with their nickel package. They want to get into it. It's a screen play. Howard makes enough good moves to get up for a first down.
Put it on the 34-yard line. We had to put cotton gloves on Bob Greasy so he could hold his pencil. His palms are so wet. From the 34, first down. Double wide, top of the picture. And they go back to Howard again, and this time the Buffaloes are waiting for him. Stepping in to fill the hole is the tall, skinny guy who's tougher than a doorknob. Mike Phillips, 6'3", 220, out of Marrero, Louisiana.
Phillips is filling in for a pretty good middle linebacker. Matt Russell from last year won the Butkus Award as the best linebacker in the country. Mike Phillips, not the same style, can run better, but doesn't have the bulk. So Michigan will probably try to run inside of him a little bit more today.
Those two tackles in the middle, though, Mau and Olsen, boy, they're good.
Yes, they are.
Second down and call it 10. Greasy back, throws underneath. They're trying to set up a wide receiver screen inside. Kai Streets will work his way down to the 29. That's a pickup of 5 yards. And the tackle from Sutter, Ryan Sutter, number 36, and Ryan Black, number 6. They are the safeties, and they will come up and put a hat on you.
Michigan offensive line, Keith, has gone through a major change from last year. 4 new starters. Hutchinson, Frazier, Zeman, and Bax are all new starters this year.
Ben Kelly has come onto the field now as they go for a nickel package. No, he comes in to replace Ryan Black in an obvious passing circumstance. Greasy back, lets it go underneath. The pass is thrown hard, caught, and it is short of the first down. Chris Howard caught it right in front of Ryan Sutter, and now Michigan will have a decision. It'll be 4th down.
Well, the question is it too long for a field goal, Keith? As you take a look, the pass protection is very good. Offensive line doing well early in the ball game.
Craig Baker has come out on the field with his kicking tee, so he's going to try one. They'll put it down just short of the 35, so it'll be a 45-yard field goal try. Brian Greasy holds it. The kick is up. And no good. Hooked it off to the left. And so the Wolverines are unable to penetrate the 25, and they come away empty. So they've each had a possession, and there's no score. Through the first series, and both quarterbacks have been able to catch all the snaps so far. So that's a good beginning, believe me.
I was talking with John Hessler on the field yesterday, and a nice young man, 5th-year senior. He had 8 starts in '95, didn't hardly play last year, was kind of inactive, Keith. Only had 25 pass attempts last year, so getting back into the swing of things this year.
They come out with a double tight end alignment. Hessler goes down the middle with it, and the ball is deflected. It's incomplete. Intended for Cheverini. His coach, Rick Neuheisel, says this of number 7, John Hessler.
He's extremely tough, both physically and mentally, and it reminds me of Aikman in that respect. In that, Troy would come out of every game with his cut chin, and it wasn't so much that he was not complaining about it, but it was the idea that there he was with his blood all over him, and his offensive lineman realized he was in the trenches too. And Hessler's a lot like that.
You do need those big uglies believing in you. They hand the ball inside, and the pressure is there. Coming through is number 56 for 26, Eric Mays, to make the tackle. Mays is a co-captain linebacker, and he stepped into the hole and he repped him.
He's a great story, Keith. He came as a walk-on, been a special teams player the last 2 or 3 years, and was voted captain, as you mentioned, which is a big honor here at the University of Michigan.
So there's a loss on the play of 3 yards, 3rd down and 13. 3 wide out to the top of your picture. Hessler's back and he's looking at it. And he gets it away big. He's got Woodson over there, and coverage is intercepted. They challenged Charles Woodson. He put too much air under the ball, and Woodson intercepted it, intended for Cheverini.
We talked about Woodson. Woodson's on Cheverini. He faked this bump and run, drops back. It's a zone coverage. John threw the ball late. Hessler gets the ball, as you mentioned. It's hanging, and this is not good. Woodson has inside position, boxes his man out, and has enough ability to get up and catch the ball.
I'm a little surprised Chiaverini didn't at least put a chop or something on him, trying to knock it loose, but he couldn't reach it.
Yeah, foul him. Interfere with it.
Doesn't matter. It's better than having it on the 45-yard line. Greasy rolls out. He's got a man, Tuman, wide open, the tight end. And Tuman is rumbling down the sideline to about the 2. Caught from behind by Ryan Sutter. Oh, Jeremy, you'll get a ragging for weeks about that. The play goes for 53 yards.
Michigan likes to go to 2 tight ends. Here's the tight end he's going to come across as the fake is made. Watches the tight end on the left side is going to sneak across. Right there, number 80, wide open. If the ball's thrown a little bit further, he could have maybe taken this into the end zone. This is a nice play by Sutter to save the touchdown.
Howard. Murkison got him high. Southard low. Mau's in the middle, and he didn't score. But he did move it down to the 1-yard line, where it is 2nd down and goal. 53-yard pass run play. Greasy to Jeremy Tuman. And Lord of mercy, he got caught from behind. Floyd, touchdown. Point try now from Craig Baker.
Craig Baker will attempt the extra point.
It's good. At 9:28 to play in the first quarter. Floyd has just scored his first career touchdown. Michigan 7-0. The Michigan Wolverines go to the lead by a score of 7-0. The interception by Woodson, a 53-yard pass run play. Greasy to Tuman. Chris Floyd stuck into the end zone. And now Jay Feely will kick it off. Waiting is Marlon Barnes for Colorado along with Ben Kelly. Feely's first kick today was beyond the end zone. This is high, and it is 5 yards deep, and Barnes coming out. And he gets to the 19-yard line, and that'll do it.
Let's go back and take a look at the key play on the previous possession by Colorado. I'm sure that the Buffs don't want to throw a lot of balls Woodson's way, but this is one that they threw. 10 interceptions in his career. That was his 11th. He has started every game since he's been at the University of Michigan, Keith. 24 straight starts, freshman, sophomore, now his junior year.
You can't hang it up in the wind like that one and expect to take it home with you.
I'm sure they're not going to try to avoid him all the time.
No, you got to put some mustard on it when you throw it over there.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Colorado at the 19. It's Trotman. And not much doing there. You know, the Michigan defense is a little more aggressive than you may have seen it in the past, because one of those up there tight and in close and involved had come all the way up out of the backfield, Marcus Ray. So there are a lot of different ideas that you're going to see before this day is done from both sides of the ball. Here's Swanee. I'm sorry. Here's John Saunders. All right, Keith. North Carolina State's becoming quite a story.
Talk about a surprise team early in the year. NC State gets my vote.
Aaron Wade had to come off the field for Colorado. Hessler back to throw. Throws. Pass is caught by Chris Anderson. Anderson's a big guy at 6'4", 215 pounds from LaPorte, Texas. And he's going to move the chains for the Buffaloes as he makes that catch at the 33-yard line in front of William Peterson. Peterson is one of the precocious freshmen that'll be playing a lot this season. There are a lot of freshmen on both rosters. but particularly true freshmen on the Michigan roster.
More than I can ever remember, Keith. At Michigan, they always have said, well, we're going to redshirt all the true freshmen. There are 5 or 6 that may play in this game today.
Troutman is your deep man. Hessler back. Goes into the middle. The ball is thrown high and hard and could not pull it down. It was intended for Tennyson McCarty. Coming up next, America's biggest road show rolls on. Live regional action beginning at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. Many of you will see Ron Paulus leading Notre Dame at Purdue, Ricky Williams in Texas against UCLA, Maryland, Florida State. Check your local listings for the game on your ABC station or the games available from your cable operator. And if he doesn't have what you want, give him the business. On the 33, first down for the Buffaloes. Blitz coming. Down on the 30. Troutman never had a chance. Marcus Ray coming out of the secondary again. A safety blitzing on the play.
Jim Herman, the defensive coordinator, mixing it up very nicely. Here's Marcus Ray. He's a strong safety. Watches the hole will open up. The lineman will part. The offensive lineman block, and Ray gets in there. Nice disguise by the defense. Keith, you just can't get up there and show Hessler. He'll check it off every time and beat you. You got to disguise it, move up at the right time, and then get across the line of scrimmage. Hessler only 1 out of 6 for 10 yards and an interception.
The Buffaloes have played a game. They played Colorado State and won by 10 last week. This is Michigan's opener. Pressure coming again to pass away in a hurry. Goes to Troutman out of the backfield. The Wolverines just eat it up. Charles Woodson came that time.
Woodson is now the nickelback. He slid inside, comes unabated. Hessler feels the pressure. Nice job of getting it to his screening back. But tell you, Keith, the more times you get knocked down, I mean, he's a tough kid. We all know that. But you know, he's going to throw the ball a little quicker the next time, maybe.
It's important to put that quarterback on his back. Charles Woodson is waiting for the punt from Nick Peach. His first one was an 18-yarder. A little better this time. High hanger, and Woodson calls for the fair catch back at the 32-yard line, where Michigan will have it first down.
We talk about big players, impact players. Charles Woodson is one of them. He is the best defensive back coming back. This is last year's numbers. They didn't throw a lot at him, so he didn't get many pass breakups, only 5 interceptions. First team All-American offense. Every time he touched the ball, he averaged 16 yards, and he's going to do more special teams this year.
Says he's in better shape and stronger than he's ever been in his life.
I don't blame Carr for wanting him to use him more.
Handoff inside Chris Floyd. Chris Floyd is 231-pound running back.
Chris Floyd.
Big and strong, and Michigan would love to just sit in there and hunker down and root you around and get a lead on you.
Well, that's right.
Beat you to death.
They want to run the ball. Chris Floyd, the fullback, doesn't get a lot of carries. They give it to him every now and then to keep him happy, but he is a blocker and a darn good blocker.
You've got a running back, Clarence Williams, up there in the slot position as a wideout right now, so he's a tailback. When he gets it, he knows what to do with it. Greasy throws behind Russell Shaw. He had Shaw available in front of the defender, but he didn't deliver it to him. Ryan Sutter was covering the boundary. There was pressure coming from Hannibal Navies, number 8 for Colorado. He's worth keeping your eye on when you have a chance to watch him, because he's 6'3", 245 pounds, and he is a dynamite linebacker.
and beside all that, he runs the 40 in about 4.4. He is quick.
All right, Colorado making defensive changes, trying to match up with Michigan's offense. Wolverines have 3 wideouts. They hand it inside. It goes to Chris Howard. And Chris Howard is taken down with some suddenness at the 36-yard line.
A 3rd and 8, a very conservative call. Michigan has done this in the past, Keith. They're playing defense. They're playing their strong suit, and don't make any mistakes on offense. And that's what we're seeing here early on in this ballgame.
Jason Benson, the new punter for Michigan. Corey Sargent figured that he would be the man, recruited for that, but he has a bad back. Jason Benson, however, in his first collegiate punt right now, is a junior walk-on, but has a big leg. And he's got a good kick. forcing Herschel Troutman into a fair catch goal back at the 27-yard line. First down, Colorado. That was a 38-yard punt. Today's aerial shots are being provided by the Bud One airship, reminding you that fresh beer tastes better. Yep, that's blue sky. Folks around this neck of the woods haven't seen a whole lot of that lately. From the 27, first down for the Colorado Buffaloes, who are without their starting tackle, Aaron Wade. Hessler is back to throw the ball, getting some heat, gets it off. Troutman catches but falls down. And there's an advance maybe of 2 yards.
Colorado throwing on first down, Keith. Michigan defensively doing a nice job of mixing it up. Zone, man-to-man, some blitzes, and when the front four only is rushing, they're doing a nice job of putting some pressure. That front four, that's Rena's 58, Williams is 91, Steele and Hall.
Second down and 8.
Here they come.
Pass to the sideline, thrown high and incomplete for Severini. Here's Swanee.
Well, Keith, the medical report on Aaron Wade is he strained the medial collateral ligaments in his left knee. Now, what they've done is they've taped up the knee, they put a brace on it. They're going to see how he feels, but right now, they're not sure whether or not he will be able to go back in the ball game. Again, strained the medial collateral ligaments in his left knee. Keith?
Ryan Bedell is going in to replace Wade at that left guard position. Wade's a big loss for him. Third and 8. Hudson to the left. Hessler can't get around the corner. Wolverines defended that very, very well.
It's interesting call. Rick Neuheisel makes all the third down calls, and he says we're not getting anything done inside or throwing. An option is a special thing to a defense. If you're blitzing, one of the things you can stop very easily is a blitz. He tried it, and it didn't work.
Deontay Jones, a sophomore out of Pontiac. No, I'm sorry, out of Potomac, Maryland, made that tackle. So the Buffaloes are continuing to do the tango. 1, 2, 3 kick, and it's a low line drive, and Woodson's got a little room. Got away from one, gets a little help on the corner, caught from behind at the 35. 38-yard punt, 5-yard return.
You got to know history to do be smart in this game. This is what they did last year. Look at the time of possession. Michigan dominated almost 9 more minutes. Rushing attempts, passing yardage. Michigan controlled the football. Colorado 14 penalties in the ball game. But this is where they're coming from. Michigan wants to duplicate it. Ball control.
Penalties were a problem for the Buffaloes a year ago. They had a bunch. Greasy back on first down to the sideline. Ball is caught over there by Ty Streets, number 86. And Streets will pick up 8, close to 9 yards on the play. Give you an idea of the quickness of Hannibal Davies. He was over there to make the play on Ty Streets. Colorado had 97 penalties.
The most
last year.
The most ever, Keith. They obviously were the most penalized team in the Big 12, but that's more than they've ever had at Colorado.
Chris Howard, backfield, has the ball. Crosses midfield. That's a first down for Michigan at the Colorado 46-yard line.
Well, that offensive line, Keith, albeit is young, and Zach Adamy is his returning starter that's not in there, but this young offensive line is really coming through. Zeman is 52 with a little trap. Frazier the center. So far passing the test.
77 is John Jansen, a captain, 6'7", 299. And if you believe 299, then you believe in fairy tales, because he had breakfast. Williams in the backfield, number 33, and Clarence has a yard. That'll do it. There's nothing there for him that time as he came out of that single back posture. Here's some excitement now for the Michigan Wolverines. Number 32 has come into the lineup. His name is Anthony Thomas. He's 6'2", 229. He is a freshman from Winfield, Louisiana. And every coach to a man, their eyes just fairly glow when they talk about number 32 Thomas.
This kid could be good, Keith.
Out of the shotgun, Thomas has got it. Some pressure on him. The butterflies are gone now that he's taken a lick or two as he runs it up the middle. At the conclusion of the game today, Chevrolet's most valuable players from each team. Chevrolet over the last quarter century, $6.5 million to aid students at our colleges and universities. All right, Thomas has been baptized. And back into the ball game comes Chris Floyd. It is 3rd down and 5 for Michigan. Do you like this formation? Where the quarterback gets that little bit of distance?
Oh, the shotgun?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I like it in passing situations. You can see the pass rush a lot better than when you're coming back from the snap.
We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC station. Michigan Stadium, crowds over 100,000 for the 136th consecutive time. Grass is green, the birds are singing, and everybody's happy. It is 3rd down and 5 for Michigan at the Colorado 42-yard line. And Michigan wiggling around up front. It was the tight end Kuman, I think. Jeremy got off balance. Like perhaps Brian had changed
false start
the count a bit.
5-yard penalty.
His tight end was leaning, and that backs him up 5, and now it is 3rd and 10.
Talking with A.J. Kristoff, Rick Neuheisel's defensive coordinator the other day, he was saying that what he wanted to do was stop Michigan's run. He knew what they're going to do. Stop them from keeping the ball.
They'll set on it till it hatches. Greasy's pass is right on the money, but it's off the hands of Ty Street and intercepted by Colorado's Marcus Washington. So a look what I found interception for Marcus Washington. That ball should have been caught.
Well, the ball was well thrown, but it was batted up in the air. These are the kind you have to catch. Take a look from behind the defense. You got to throw it over a couple of linebackers. Streets has to get up in the air for this one. You got to catch that ball. He had his hands together. You got to split your hands to be able to catch the ball.
Marcus Washington comes up with his 2nd interception. He had a big one last week in the game against Colorado State.
Yes,
the Buffaloes.
Yes, he did.
At the 37-yard line with a 1st down in the closing minutes of the 1st quarter of play. They run Troutman up the middle, and Herschel will pop in there for about 6 yards.
Colorado, their first 4 possessions, they didn't do a whole lot with them. They didn't have good field position. They had 3 punts and then 1 interception that set up the Michigan touchdown.
Hefner, the tight end, leaves now. Chiaverini going to the top of your picture. Savoy is the man on the near side. Hessler gives it away at the line of scrimmage. There is a massive collision between Eric Mays and Herschel Troutman, and Mays wins.
One of the things that Michigan does makes it so tough. Watch the linemen as they all go to slant. This messes up the blocking assignments. When they slant to the right, the linebackers will cover up by going in the other direction. Michigan has always been known as a slanting team, which makes it tough to run on.
3rd down now and 3 for the Buffaloes. Diggers is the man at the very top, and he's a burner. They go underneath, however, and get the 1st down to Chris Anderson. Anderson making the catch at the Michigan 49-yard line. And voila, for the first time today, the Buffaloes are on the Wolverine side of the field. Tommy Hendricks, number 41, in there defensively for Michigan. Lloyd Carr, his 3rd year at the University of Michigan, though he joined Bo Schembechler's staff in 1980. Came out of Tennessee. 10-year-old came to Michigan with his family. Hessler on first down. Has time. Passes away for Savoy, and he just lost control of the ball. He turned back to his right. Did not have a handle on the ball and threw a wounded goose.
Well, he was throwing, John was throwing, it looked like he had plenty of time. There was no rush. Savoy was running a streak, and he threw it like it was running a comeback. He threw it like he expected him to break it off at about 18 yards and then come back. It looked like right there he started to come back, and then he says, oh, I've got him beat. Let's throw the touchdown, throw the takeoff. And Hessler was throwing the comeback.
That's how important perspective is, folks. I know Big Ugly up here thinks he lost control of the ball. The quarterback said the receiver ran the wrong route.
Well, you have to have been there, I guess, to know.
Second down and 10. The first quarter is over. And you know what? Nope, they stop it at 2 seconds. Well, if we can make it through the next 2 seconds, we'll have played the first quarter in this ball game without a penalty flag. That's new. Final 2 seconds of the first quarter. It is Herschel Troutman, and he runs it over the left side, and the quarter is done. So we do, in fact, finish the first period without a single penalty flag on the Colorado Buffaloes. Back after this message and a word from our ABC station. Now with the Buffaloes, 3rd down and 8. The ball is on the Michigan 47-yard line. Michigan leads in the ball game 7-0. John Hessler has a lot of time and throws a bullet complete to Chris Anderson in traffic. First down, Colorado at the 36.
Anderson is the man making the catches. That's 3. Take a look at the first quarter stats. 100 yards for Michigan, only 37 for the Buffaloes. Each team has had a turnover. Michigan doing a lot better on the average yards per play.
This would be a very good year for Chris Anderson to step up. They've been expecting a lot out of him. He's a senior this year. First down for the Bucs. They run it with traffic. Nothing doing. There's penetration all along that front. James Hall and Sam Sword. Sam Sword is backed up by Rob Sweat. Marvelous names. Got to be Big Ugly rolling around in the mud and the blood. And here's the man that controls the Michigan defense this year.
Moved up to defensive coordinator. Greg Madison moved over to Notre Dame as their coordinator. And Lloyd Carr paid him a high compliment. He says in time that Jim Herman will be one of the best coordinators they've ever had in Michigan.
Second down and 10.
He might already be one of the best.
Hessler getting a little heat. Pass is off. Takes an arm to do that, folks. Bill Savoy. Josh Williams, number 91, was in pursuit of him, a 271-pounder, with full intent to maim him, and Hessler running to the left, but got it away on the number.
But you said it, Keith. Michigan had some pressure. 91 inside is Williams, but the mobility of the quarterback and the arm strength, John just made this play right here.
Try this.
Throws it back inside.
Ordinary person has dislocated their shoulder.
And Savoy did a nice job of finding an open area.
Marlon Barnes is checked into the lineup now for Colorado. Hessler still got it. He takes the left. It's intercepted. Intercepted by the Michigan Wolverines. Number 41, Tommy Hendricks. Again, pressure's involved.
You're right, Keith. They got the blitz coming. Hessler got turned around. They're going to have a blitz on the outside. This one's going to blitz. Right here is Hendricks. He's going to move to his left side. Watch the two left guys standing up. They're blitzing. Now Hessler gets turned around. He doesn't see Hendricks coming back from the outside. He thought he had a man with nobody on him. He doesn't get a lot on the ball because there's pressure, and Hendricks makes a nice play.
And we got a sack full of penalty flags on that call. Jack Teets is the referee.
Dead ball. false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That'll put them back on the 10-yard line where it'll be first down and 15. You see that face? Competitor, boy. Brighton, Colorado.
Both teams are going against pretty darn good defenses, Keith.
On first and 15, Greasy hands the ball off to Chris Howard. And Howard will get it back to about the 15-yard line where it'll be second down and 10. 13-10 to go in the first half. Michigan leading 7-0.
Rick just giving him a piece of his mind. You know, sometimes that's good, Keith. They're good friends. Hessler gives Neuheisel a lot of credit for his development, but sometimes to shake him loose, wake him up, or whatever, instead of grabbing him by the shoulders and shaking him and says, come on, start playing, he's doing it verbally.
And he has a rapier. Here's a penalty flag in the backfield of Michigan. So that play loses half a yard or so. So they may choose to decline this one.
Rick was telling me the other day that Hessler always plays well in big games. And he said, at least that's what I'm going to tell him, and that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. He's trying to convince him that you're going to play well. I mean, and I think that's good.
They got a holding call against the Wolverines. And they're discussing whether or not Colorado wants to accept it. Mike Phillips is the man talking to the referee.
On the offense, half the distance to the goal line. Repeat, second down.
So being up on the 15.
A little surprised they accepted that, Keith. They only got half the distance. It would have been third down. What this tells me is the Buffaloes have a lot of confidence in that defense. They want to create something down here, give their offense some good field position.
Winds up a 10-yard penalty. Second down and 20 coming up now for Michigan. 12:20 to play in the first half. And the Colorado defense now trying to pin them right there. This is Chris Floyd. Again, penalty flag. Floyd comes out to the 10-yard line. He picks up 5 yards on the carry. But again, I think you may have a Michigan penalty. Yep, against Michigan. Procedure. Here's Swanee. Lynn Swan.
Keith, you're talking about John Hessler and his conversation with Rick Neuheisel on the sideline. From what I'm noticing in this game, he seems to have a control problem throwing the football. Now, I know Rick wants to talk to him, but to me it seems it would be almost better, much better, if he was on the sideline, had a football in his hand, was throwing the football to a receiver on the sideline, trying to work through his problems, trying to work out his technique. If it's just a matter of adrenaline, he can throw the ball and calm down a little bit so he can be an effective leader, Keith.
All right, third down and 15 now. Little sidearm around the corner by Bryan is thrown out to Tuman up around the 17, 18-yard line. He couldn't get it over the top because there was a big old man in his face, so he threw it just under his elbow.
Did a nice job of throwing it around him. Keith, I think Hessler's problem is not so much his technique or what he's doing, not doing. I think the problem is there's a bunch of Wolverines in his face.
I think you're
and
right.
They're doing a nice job of getting pressure, and that's causing a lot of the other problems, throwing off balance and whatever.
Right here, the Colorado defense has done its job. They've pinned the Wolverines, and now they've got to punt the ball. Benson steps up and hits it at the 8-yard line, and it's a high beauty. Whoa, that's a dandy. Trotman all the way back to his 34-yard line. Penalty flag thrown. Colorado's going to get hit with a push in the back. That's a 48-yard punt, and that return of 13 yards, I think, is going to be nullified by a penalty. Push in the back, I'm pretty sure. Looked like Marcus Washington. Illegal use of hands against the Colorado Buffaloes, and that'll take them back up the field. So John Hessler comes back onto the field now after a spirited conversation with his coach. Colorado defense had done their job. They had pinned Michigan, but Benson came in and just kicked the air out of the ball plus a penalty against Colorado, and the line of scrimmage point of the snap moved 56 yards downfield. So Colorado starts first down at their own 29-yard line. And Hessler looking and looking and looking. Now he's got somebody to go to, and the ball is off the hands of Phil Savoy.
Needs some help. You got to give him some help.
The Home Depot Chalk Talk. Colorado Buffaloes in 25 games under Rick Neuheisel. You can see the numbers. They are prolific, averaging 33 points a game, 450 yards. The record, obviously pretty good when you're producing those first two sets of numbers. 21-4.
I asked Carl Durrell, the offensive coordinator, if they were going to try to run the ball. He says the head coach was a quarterback. I was a wide receiver. You think we're not going to throw the ball?
There's another penalty flag thrown to the linesman. The play is good out to about the 43 to Chris Anderson, who's having a big day. But this may come back. The officials very quiet in the first quarter, but they're dirty in the laundry in the second. It's against Colorado. Jim Bushowski is your umpire. The linesman is Steve Beckman. Line judge is Don Langlow. Field judge Bob Colburn. Side judge is Norm Nelson. And the back judge is John Langen.
There's a look at Carl. He was a wide receiver at UCLA when Rick was the quarterback. I asked Carl if Rick has changed any. He said, well, yeah, he says, we're opposite personalities. I'm quiet, and he's kind of outgoing, a singer and a guitar player. But he said he's starting to listen to me a little bit more.
There are two freshmen in the secondary now for Michigan, Dwayne Patman out of San Diego and James Whitley out of Norfolk, Virginia. They're true freshmen, but they can play. Timeout call by Michigan. 11:24 to go in the first half. Wolverines leading in the ball game by a score of 7-0. Blimp and its eye-in-the-sky camera providing you with these live shots 1,000 feet above Michigan Stadium, where resides for a little while this afternoon close to 105,000 folks. And they're cheering loudly as their defensive fellows are doing a fine job. Clint Copenhaver gets the call here on Marlon Barnes.
Keith, the defense is really playing well. Watch the two linebackers as at the right time, just before the ball is snapped, they're going to scoot up and blitz at a timely fashion. That tells me that they've got the snap count for the Buffaloes pretty much down. What the Buffaloes should do is change the snap count, go on quick counts and long counts. Michigan is disguising, and at the right minute, their linebackers are coming across the line of scrimmage.
It is third down and 16 now, and here comes that blitz again as Woodson delivers the hit on Hessler, but Hessler delivers the ball to Anderson, and he makes the catch for a first down.
This is just a great throw and catch. Woodson was all over Hessler, and Anderson making a lot of big plays today. Woodson scooting in from his coverage position, blitzing with all the speed that he has. Hessler just barely gets rid of it. Oh, that's great. Great throw, good camera work. Copenhaver, the outside linebacker, didn't even see the ball coming. You can't do it any better than that.
Anderson, Bob, has 4 catches for 45 yards, and 3 of those have been right over the middle. And that's where your ears ring a little bit when you go down the middle.
You got that. He's a big guy, Keith. He's 6'4", over 210, and he can handle that pressure in there, the contact.
Barnes, the deep man. Buffalo for the first down. Hessler keeps it. He's fearless. He doesn't worry about that. ABC's College Football online right now with a live reel.
Rick Neuheisel, that's the second option that he's run. He's figuring if Michigan is going to be blitzing up the middle, I'm going around the end with my option. Good thinking.
Second down and 5. Ball just short of the 45. Hessler, short drop, gets his first down. Pass complete to Cheverini. Darren is out of Corona, California. Lanky youngster. Enjoyed visiting with him yesterday.
He was very interesting to talk to. He was bright-eyed and friendly. Yeah, just came up and started chatting. I think they bent the post over
I think
there.
it's bent. Yeah. Time out for the equipment.
When a player gets close to those poles over there, those poles should be dropped and not held by those sideline attendants.
Well, I remember one time Dennis Dummett, who was a quarterback for UCLA, slid into one of those things, and the fella dropped it and it stuck in Dennis's leg.
It should not have a point on the end of them.
Oh, you're right. That was just a terrifying thing. But, they've changed the equipment some since then.
Ball being marked at midfield.
It's at midfield. It'll be first down. The ball is square on it. John Hessler from Brighton, Colorado, small town, 18 of 28, 223 yards and 2 touchdowns with an interception in the ball game against CSU. Of course, he stepped into the limelight and center stage at Colorado 2 years ago when Coy Detmer went down with injury, and he picked up the pieces and carried them on to a 10-2 season. He sat and watched last year while they went 10-2 again.
He set 12 school records 2 years ago when he had 9 starts, but like I said, he only threw 25 passes last year. Now he's getting his opportunity. I think what they should do, Keith, is shorten their drops. Go 3 steps and throw quickly, because Michigan is disrupting them when they take deeper drops and run shorter slants and some fades and do some of that stuff. Quicker passing. There you go, Charles Woodson. Colorado has thrown 17 passes. Only 2 of them have been in Woodson's direction. They completed one and the other was picked off. I think they're going to be avoiding him most of the day. A little respect there. You can't avoid him completely, Keith, because sometimes the read is going to take you to throw at Charles Woodson. But
Bob, Keith, they got the new poles out, but the problem wasn't trying to get a straight pole. It's the chains were all tangled up. They spent the last 2 minutes just untangling, and Doc Crease, their weight instructor, was getting ready just to snap them in half.
I don't blame you. We're getting tired of it too. The handoff goes to Troutman. Troutman picks up a couple of yards on the play. You're one of the good hands guys. You should have gone over there and taken care of it. Clock is rolling along with Michigan leading Colorado by a score of 7-0. Aaron Wade is gone for the day, as we heard. Got a ligament tear. So they lose the big guard out of Wheat Ridge, Colorado. Ryan Bedell, his replacement.
8 starters returned on this offense for Colorado, Keith. So they've got some veterans both on the offense and defense.
Second down and 8. Troutman goes in motion. Hessler's pass thrown to an open field.
Went the wrong way. The back went the wrong way.
Acres and acres of grass. Nobody there.
There's 2 tight ends and only 1 back. He's going this way. Watch, when he comes back, he's going to throw the ball to our left. Now, I didn't see a screen right or left, so I don't do this very often. But it may have been the quarterback throwing it the wrong way.
Would have been.
Because I didn't see any linemen going out to the right or left. But I got to hang with my quarterbacks.
Third down and 8 now, and the Michigan crowd starting to get into it. And I'll tell you what, there's still confusion between some of the receivers and the quarterback. And John Hessler says, I've had enough of this. I'm going to go to the man. And he calls timeout. 8:51 to play, and we've sort of bogged.
Keith, I think that was a good timeout that Colorado took, because they were a little disorganized. It's a big play. You're across the 50-yard line. It's third down. Let's take a timeout and get this play right. This is critical here.
Double wide, the man on the boundary is Savoy. Copenhagen puts the pressure on. Pass is bounced in front of Stiggett. Incomplete.
Could have run it. Look at it. He says, run it. All we needed was 8 yards. We could have run it. But when you're out there scrambling, you're so in tune to finding somebody to throw to. Why didn't you run?
So Nick Peach will come on. John Hessler is getting his calling.
Well, you know, there's a lot of time left in this game. There's a lot of time for him to come back and make big plays and win it.
7-0.
Yeah,
My
exactly,
goodness.
Exactly.
Woodson is waiting for Peach's punt. Got pressure on him, but he got it away, and he got a beauty away. And Woodson calls a fair catch, so the Wolverines don't have a lot of room behind them at the 8-yard line. This week's
Built up over 3 or 4 years, Keith, and that was an exciting time for him.
I'll bet. This is Chris Howard in at the running back, and we'll move it up across the 10 a bit, about a 2.5-yard pickup.
Kid's doing pretty well today, 6 of 8, 85 yards and the 1 interception. Michigan is, you know, being a little conservative on offense, much different than Colorado. As we mentioned this in the opening. Michigan wants to play the strength of their defense, a ball control, don't make any mistakes, don't help Colorado. Colorado's coming out, they're going to throw it, they're going to try and score points.
Colorado doesn't need me. This is Clarence Williams around the corner. And a penalty flag. And I may have dinged Ty Streets with that yellow flag. But I think that play will, though good for a first down, will come back.
Yeah, I think you hit it, Keith. Holding on the wide receiver block. Just knocking some water. I think he's sweating over there. He's just knocking some water out of his headset.
Emptying my earmuffs. Ball comes back to the 8-yard line now. Just inside 8 minutes to go in the first half. 7-0 the Wolverines. The game started out at a very brisk pace in the first quarter. It slowed dramatically here in the second. Michigan now got to be careful. They're second down, 11. Buffalo's jumping around on defense. Give it to Clarence Williams, and Clarence has no room. Jumping in there to make the tackle. Honorable Navies.
Now, Michigan doesn't want to take any chances down here, so they're going to be conservative. 2 tight ends, run it out. You know, don't turn it over, just punt it away. Let our defense play. Of course, Colorado and A.J. Kristoff knows that, so they're stacked against the run.
What did A.J. say when you were talking to him the other day? Didn't he ask you if Ryan had a black jacket?
We had a nice conversation, and A.J. he said, well, tell Ryan, you know, have a good game, and be sure to get that big flak jacket out.
Third down. This is a play up the middle for Chris Howard. And Chris will wiggle it out to the 15 or so, but they're going to have to punt this ball away. Ron Merkerson's put on some weight this year. That big old 33 playing linebacker for Colorado. He's a good one.
Michigan in their first game coming out. There's a look at Merkerson, and he's a good one, Keith. Very conservative. They don't want to, you know, do anything. They got the game in control right now, so they're just being conservative with it.
Can also be discouraging to the other team. Well, so far Benson showing us a pretty good leg. The walk-on punter. Herschel Trotman accepts the kick back at his own 45-yard line. That's a 40-yard punt and no return, and we go to John Saunders. Put another team together over there in Morgantown. This is the best starting field position that Colorado has had in the game.
It's really a continuation, Keith, of that last drive. When they punted the ball inside the 10, Michigan had to punt it back. Now here they go again.
Defense held them. Offense has a chance. Hessler got a penalty flag thrown. You probably got holding called here as the ball is bounced in front of Cheverini. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a holding call coming here against Colorado. Yep.
Here's a pretty good matchup here. Woodson on the left, jams him at the line of scrimmage. Savoy on the right. Both of these guys are on most of your preseason All-American teams. Savoy running a little down and in and back out. He was open for a second. He got some separation. If it was at the right time for the ball, that would have been a completion.
Last year in Boulder, this happened. Well, Savoy got his touchdown last year, and Charles has been mulling it over since.
Yeah, he's had a year to think about it, hasn't he?
That's a 17-yard penalty now. It's a spot of the foul call, and it goes back 17 yards to make it a 1st and 27.
That game, Keith, last year in Boulder, the Buffaloes offensively only scored 2 touchdowns.
Right. That's right.
They had 13 points. They missed an extra point, but had trouble with his defense last year.
Pressure's coming. Passes away. It is intercepted. No, not intercepted. Sam Sword went to the grass tops trying to find it, but didn't quite get it clean. Meantime, Eric Mays was tormenting John Hessler.
Good word, Keith. Tormenting again. Linebackers blitzing right here. Mays is going to rush the passer. Line's going to open up. He's going to come around. He sees the line and he just throws it away. There's a 26 is Mays.
He's only 5'11", but he's carrying 226 pounds.
Almost had a illegal hit there with your helmet up in the other quarterback's head.
Blitz is coming.
They need to change the snap count, Keith. Those linebackers for Michigan have it down pretty good. They're blitzing at the right time each time.
Sword and Rennis. Rennis, the pressure man. Sword, the blitzer. Joaquin Fazell taking up half of the valley himself at 275 pounds.
Go.
So the Michigan defense right now, in fact, the 2 defenses are dominating. They've taken all the starch out of the offenses right for the time being. Third and 26. From the 28. And this is Trotman. And Trotman is tripped up by Clint Copenhaver. And it's 4th down for Colorado. The punter is Nick Peach. The receiver, waiting at least, is Charles Woodson. Good kick. Runs Woodson back to the 22, and he's taken down at the 20 on a terrific open field tackle by Ben Kelly. Cornerback for Colorado. 43-yard punt, loss of a guess.
I ain't getting in no canoe, Hoss.
Check your local listing for the game on your ABC station. That's a very big ball game up in Seattle next week. On 1st down, Greasy rolls out. Throws under. Truman the tight end. 1st down, Michigan at the 44-yard line. Gain of 24 yards on the play.
Mike DeBoer, the offensive coordinator, calls the plays. Went back to the play that was successful for him that set up the touchdown. You fake the run, you roll out. Truman coming from across the field. This is the same play he caught earlier in the game. You're going across the grain. The fake was the other way. Now he's a tight end. He says, I'm a tight end. I'm running over guys.
Mike DeBoer having moved over as offensive coordinator, having been the offensive line coach. This is Clarence Williams. He came out of the slot, runs a reverse, and picks up right at 10 yards. Damon Wheeler finally got him. That was a play that could have gone all the way. Colorado saying, wait a minute, the ball's out. How come we can't have a piece of it? And they say he was down. They'll have a look with a change to see where they are.
Let's check out the blocking on this here. Clarence Williams lost some weight. $14 going down there and kind of getting a piece of somebody.
But that other Greasy that we knew wearing the black and gold, I don't know that he had too many like that. He didn't stick his hat.
He didn't learn that from me, if that's what you're asking.
4 minutes and 9 seconds to play. Ball is out on the 46-yard line, and it's 2nd down and a foot. Into the ball game now for Michigan is Mark Campbell, number 88, tight end. That'll give them a double tight end alignment. They send Shaw and Streets wide. Floyd is the single back. He gets it. And he gets the first down and then some. Runs all the way down to the 35-yard line. Gets a hand from the crowd. First down. Big block from Jeremy Truman, number 80, the tight end.
Well, that's just straight blocking up front by that offensive line. Hutchinson, Frazier, Zeman, Truman, number 80, who just caught that big pass to get him down in this field position. Does a nice job. Stays with his man. That's Sutter, number 36, the free safety. The big question mark for Michigan coming in. 4 new starters on that offensive line.
Anthony Thomas is back in, the freshman. And Greasy's pass. He puts air under it. Woodson's there and out of bounds. Incomplete forward pass. Charles Woodson had snuck into the game, and he had whipped Marcus Washington. He was out of bounds when he caught the ball, and there's a penalty flag against Michigan back at the line of scrimmage. All of that excitement is wiped out.
I think that is the first time that Charles Woodson was in on offense. If that ball would have been thrown further to the inside, of course, they've been wiped out by the penalty anyway.
Yep.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty.
Well, they snuck him in, though. I didn't see him come in. I mean, he goes in. As long as you get inside the numbers, you're legal. And that's as far as he went. And then all of a sudden, boom, there he was wide open.
Washington has no deep help. He just let Woodson run by him.
Right on the line when he caught it. Right on the boundary.
I think, Keith, if he would have been working as a receiver more and not so much defensive back, he could have worked his feet in bounds, but wouldn't have counted in.
3 wideouts to the bottom. Greasy looking the other way and goes the other way for Floyd. And Floyd ran into his own man. He ran into Big Steve Hutchinson and they said, we're going that way. And they straightened it out for about 5 yards.
Hutchinson missed a couple weeks practice with a concussion. He came over from defense, as did the other guard, Chris Zeman. So they've got 2 guards that are huge, both moved over from defense. DeBoard really likes this offensive line. He thinks in time they are really going to be good.
Now they break up the I and leave Williams deep. Now he's out of the backfield. There ain't nobody back there, Brian. You got to throw it. He goes inside the streets. You got a penalty flag against Michigan. The play wasn't going anywhere anyhow. Colorado sniffed that out pretty well, and the linesman threw the flag just as the play broke. 2 minutes, 38 seconds to play in the first half. The first quarter was antiseptic. The second quarter's been a mess. We'll have the Valvoline halftime 97 with John Saunders and Todd Blackledge. A little bit here, 2 minutes and 38 seconds on the game clock.
I think talking with Rick Neuheisel too. I think they got a piece about with Rick.
I looked at some of the interview stuff last night, as a matter of fact, before I nodded off. It's interesting. It's good.
Rick's a pretty interesting guy. He wants to have fun. He wants to put fun back in college. He takes these guys tubing, he takes them skiing, and plays the guitar.
3rd and 17 for Michigan now. The ball is thrown to Williams. Williams is belted. They're going to call him down. They're going to call him down. I don't know why, but they are at the 39-yard line. Colorado doesn't know why either. Ryan Sutter came up and laid a lick on him. He hit him with a plank. And the ball came popping out.
Tight end is going to come across, and right here in the center of your screen is Sutter. He sees this the whole way. Watch him close on this.
I don't know, maybe he was down.
Yeah.
So now they have come to a 4th down, and Brian's out there, right? So the Pooch punter's on the field. No, you got to back it up. 9-iron. So it bounds into the end zone. It'll come out to the 20, 1:35 to play, and here's John. Buffaloes get the ball at the 20. Michigan defense's confidence has obviously grown and grown and grown because they have been a dominant factor in this first half. They lead 7-0. Colorado defense is getting better all the while too. Here's Hessler back, hands the ball away. And there's a loss on the play as Marlon Barnes carrying, and Glenn Steele is not having any of it. Big guy from Ligonier, Indiana, took him down for a loss on the play, back to the 15-yard line.
This Michigan defense, Keith, take a look at the defensive line and the offensive line play. Steele is 81. He beats his man and makes the play, but this Michigan defense was pretty good coming back. They had 6 starters returning from a team that was 8th best in the nation last year in preventing people scoring points. So Michigan defense has always been good, Keith.
They tackle well.
Fundamentally, all the way back to Schembechler, that was one of the things you know about Michigan defensively, they could tackle.
This is Troutman looking for some help, turns the corner and runs well across the 25 to the 26. So it'll be 3rd down and 4 from the 26, and timeout called here by Michigan. Colorado has no timeouts remaining.
Well, Michigan wants to try and stop him on this 3rd down and force him to punt. Give Woodson a chance to run it back.
Hey, Jack! Hey, Jack! I'm going to tell you, Don.
All right, here comes into the ball game Eric Mays, number 26, returning. He's been a primary tormentor for them. Whitley, the freshman, number 5, James Whitley from Norfolk. He comes out, and Andre Weathers, another blitzer, goes in. So they're putting in their assassins here, trying to make them punt.
Michigan has used about 18 or 19 defensive players, Keith. They have done a nice job of nickel and dime. I mean, that 5 and 6 defensive backs, sometimes 7. Sometimes they just use 3 linebackers. It's a standard set, base set. So doing a nice job, and they're mixing up their coverages and blitzes.
In talking to Jim Herman yesterday, though, I mean, the room was just vibrating. He was so excited to get, and so eager to send his Warriors out.
His daddy was a CPA, his sister and his brother-in-law are CPAs. Everybody expected him to be a CPA. He said, no. He says, I'm going in for something exciting. And what he told us yesterday was very interesting, Keith. He said he thought that not having played a game is an advantage for his defense and a disadvantage for Colorado's offense, because you've got to see what they're doing, but he didn't give up any of his secrets defensively.
Now he changed his mind a bit. He puts Whitley back in, so he's got a burner in there to cover the pass. Pressure flushes Hessler out of there, and they take him down at the 30, but he may have a 1st down depending on the spot. Now the linesmen come from this side. He's marked it short of the 30-yard line. They call time, Michigan does, with 23 seconds remaining on the clock, and so it will be 4th down and a yard.
There's that front. 4 guys rushing. Michigan putting on pressure with 4. Steele just misses him, and that's Hall that keeps after him and finally catches him.
I'll tell you what. Does Michigan have a timeout left?
That's all their timeout. So
yeah, okay.
What they're going to get is a punt if they can do something with
I
the
wouldn't.
punt.
I'd just go for the 1st down. You only got a half a yard, so why give Woodson the chance for the ball?
That's a good point, too.
Here's Swanee.
Well, Keith, you know, I'm very surprised. Colorado has 1 game under their belt, and they played Colorado State very well. But I'm looking at their wide receivers especially, and they look like they're dragging. They look like they're tired. They've been walking on and off the field. The entire bench area for Colorado looks like it's a team that's lost a game, not a team that's only trailing by a touchdown. That's not a good sign for the second half, Keith.
Well, Len, you know, last week against Colorado State, they were behind at halftime. And it wasn't Neuheisel so much that fired him up. It was Savoy who came in and started throwing chairs in the locker room. And Melvin Thomas, the big All-American tackle, that started speaking to him. So they're going to need some of that here today.
Well, if Phil Savoy is going to start throwing chairs, he needs a personality change right now, Bob. All right.
Talk to him, Lenny.
Nick Peach is in the punt. Yeah, I guess, well, they're going to kick it.
Got a piece out.
Got to touch the ball. As long as you touch the ball, you can knock the kicker down, and the ball is fielded by Charles Woodson and run out of bounds at about the 49-yard line. So Ian Gold goes in there and gets a piece of it.
As long as you get a piece of it, you can touch the kicker. Or the kicker can touch you, I guess.
So Michigan will get it with 15 seconds. The ball is just across midfield.
See if Michigan's got a Hail Mary.
Too early. Woodson. Call a timeout down on the 20-yard line. 6 seconds.
The clock stops. The clock stops on the first
chain.
down.
Now they've got to get down there. They don't have a timeout remaining.
They just have to down the ball and then get their field goal team in. They can do that.
All you got to do is snap it, spike it. There you go.
See, that's a big advantage. A big advantage in college. And Charles Woodson, everybody laying off, think he's going deep. This is a nice call. Send 2 guys of the 3 on that side deep and bring the 1 guy in across. You're a big play guy.
And so Craig Baker will get a field goal try. From somewhere around the 27-yard line, so it looks like it'll be about a 37-yarder. The clock did not move. Did he not ask for some time to be run off?
Yeah.
2 seconds. Rob Sweat, who is a linebacker. Rob comes in as one of the blockers for the field goal unit. He's up at the top of the picture, number 95, and if there's going to be pressure, that's probably where it would come from. 37 yards. There comes the pressure. The kick is in the air, and it is good. And so very good use of the clock without a timeout in the closing seconds of the first half, and Michigan goes to the clubhouse leading Colorado by a score of 10-0. So 106,474 are happy about it. And we'll go to John Saunders and Todd Black. Colorado at Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor, and the man who stepped up, as we warned you he might very well, is Charles Woodson.
Well, he's a key player either offense or on defense. Here defensively, he makes the first interception of the year. That led to a score. Here he pressures the quarterback. Now he's on offense as a wide receiver just before the half. This reception sets up the final field goal.
And so that's where we are at halftime in a 10-0 ball game. And if Colorado had been able to wedge out a first down and not kick the ball, not give Woodson a chance to return it, and then make that reception, they would have avoided that 3 points. But Michigan used it very well and will have the ball to start the second half of play. Jason Leslie will kick off for the Buffaloes, and for Michigan, it's Clarence Williams in the middle of the field. And Clarence, 2 yards deep in the end zone, is coming. Got a wedge in the middle of the field. He's got 1 man to beat. There's a penalty flag way back up the field. So jump up and down all you want, but that baby's coming back. Ben Kelly ran him down, holding Michigan. That flag was thrown up around the 25-yard line. It's laying on the ground right now back at the 21. So that'll negate a 62-yard kickoff return. And Lloyd Carr is not happy.
Holding on a receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Keith, let's take a look at that replay from the end zone. It might be right here. Watches that matchup. He's locked up with him. Looks like he may just pull him down. I can't tell for sure. That might have been it. But critical mistake coming out for Michigan.
So instead of having the ball on the Colorado side of the field, they lose that 62-yard kick return, and they will start first down at their own 11-yard line. Chris Floyd is the single back and has the ball. And he runs head on into Mike Phillips, the middle linebacker, and Big Mike takes him down after a yard. Now the Dean Witter halftime stats.
Average per play, Colorado not doing much with it, but down at the bottom, turnovers. Colorado has had 2, and it has led, one of those turnovers led to 7 points for Michigan. Michigan with 217 yards. What is not there is the passing yards for Colorado, only 65 yards for John Hester and company.
Call it second down and 8. Greasy keeps it after a play action and lets it go. He's got 2 men. First down, Michigan.
Same play. Colorado has not stopped.
33-yard line.
It's the same plays, Keith, that they've run a couple of other times. Roughing the passer on top of it. Here's a look at Tooman. Same thing. He's going to go across. Brian Griese fakes the play. This is good calling by Mike DeBoer. He's not running it too often. He's sharing it up, running some plays in between, but he hasn't forgotten it. He keeps going back to it.
Called a roughing the passer too, didn't he?
Yep.
So Jeremy Tooman's having a big day, and the penalty against Colorado now will move the football all the way out to the 48-yard line on the roughing call. And Tooman with 4 catches for 105 yards. So Michigan now trying to strike while it's hot. It's high, but it's caught by Russell Shaw. And Shaw from Los Angeles will move the chains for Michigan down to about the 37. Here's 20.
And Keith, on that opening kickoff, that penalty was just what Lloyd Carr was talking to me about at halftime. He said, we are making the first game mistakes and they are killing us. He said, we've got to correct those, but most importantly, he said, it will not stop him from being aggressive, both defensively and more aggressive offensively in the second half, Keith.
You can be more aggressive if you're outside of your own 10-yard line, for sure.
Go to the ground game, and there's nothing there for Anthony Thomas. Thomas has just absolutely stopped cold. Mike Phillips is in there as one of the primaries on it. Nick Ziegler. Now Phillips leaves, heading toward the sidelines, wringing his hand, but now I guess the feeling must be coming back, and he says, I'll stay.
Must just be a burner, and that is hit your crazy bone or something like that, Keith.
So it's 2nd down and 13 after that loss by Thomas. And Griese back quickly, throws behind Ty Streets a bit there. And while Ty made a leaping acrobatic catch, and it may have saved him a little physical abuse.
Well, that throw was high, no question about it. And Streets made up for the one he missed before, although he tipped it up in the air, was intercepted. This was a heck of a catch. Bad throw, good catch. You don't want to hang your wide receivers out like that.
$14 out of 17 for 190. You know what? You're going to buy dinner.
I'm buying anyway.
3rd down and 5. Quick thing again. He works. Go to Ty Streets. That's what they had a while ago, except the pass was poorly thrown, and Ty had to go high to get it. This time the ball was on the numbers, and he was able to move it on down the field.
It's just going to be a slant, about 2 steps and in. It's a good throw by Griese and a nice play by Streets. Michigan offensively, Keith, I just go say, opening up more after they got out of the shadow of their own goalpost. Mike DeBoer really allowing the throw now on 1st and 2nd down.
Marcus Washington is the man hurt on the play. He's a cornerback, starting cornerback for Colorado, and he's down on the field. I thought Florida State wore out the slant pattern last week.
You know,
all night.
It looks like Marcus is going to be all right going off the field, but I love that, Keith. That slant pass, that's the first thing that you go to on quick passing, 3-step drops, and if you can get yourself inside, you've got a chance to catch it quickly and break a tackle.
Corey Davis again replacing Washington. This is that freshman Thomas. Anthony Thomas from Winfield, Louisiana. And he cuts it in there for a good solid 3 yards. 10-0 Michigan, and the Wolverines are now knocking on the door.
First drive, Keith, of the 3rd quarter is so important because you come out at halftime. Rick Neuheisel had a chance to fire his guys up and say, hey, we came from behind last week. We proved we can do it. Let's go out and play better. Lloyd Carr on the other side says, we got them down 10. Don't let up. Don't slow up. Let's go out. First drive, go down and put something on the board.
2nd down and 6. Brian Griese 4 for 4 in this possession. All thrown outside to Chris Howard. Howard out of the backfield. Comes down close to the marker, but looks like he's about a yard short before Ben Kelly shoves him out. Kelly not very big, but he's feisty, 5'10", 175.
Brian did a nice job there. He looked downfield for the tight end. He was covered with 2 people. The back was open. He came off to the back.
Chris Howard got his first down by half a yard.
Protection has been good for Michigan, Keith. The main concern for the Wolverines going in, talking to the coaching staff, was the offensive line. Not that they weren't good enough, just that they hadn't played. They were inexperienced.
It's 1st and goal from the 6. Floyd. That's a yard. That'll do it. They're all there. Phillips, 91. Terrell Cade, 48.
Mau, 77. Those
Iliami.
big tackles inside.
Clock rolling along. Michigan in control of the ball game. Their defense has been the single most dominant thing on the field today, but the offense is working pretty well for the first game. Clarence Williams, the deep back. Greasy looking around. Now he throws into the cheap seats. Incomplete.
It's tough to do for a quarterback, Heath, and that is give up on the play. I mean, you work on plays inside the 10, 15-yard line. You want to hit this play. You try it in practice, and it works in practice. You have confidence it's going to work. Now he looks back, and right now he sees it ain't going to work. Now I'm looking over here. Just give it up. Come back for another play.
Williams coming out. Howard is back in. But Floyd is deep. That puts Howard up there in the slot, makes him a receiver. And he's got it. And he's got a touchdown. For the point. Good. At 10:26 to go in the 3rd quarter, Michigan marches out to a 17-0 lead, going 89 yards in 11 plays. $17-0. The numbers that really matter. Michigan leading. Colorado now got a belly up. Respond here. They're going to be in trouble. Feely's kick to the corner. It is received by Marlon Barnes. And Barnes, searching for a little more daylight, will get out to about the 28-yard line. The scoring drive, as we told you, 11 plays, 89 yards, took 4.5 minutes. They threw the ball 7 times, ran it 4 times, and stuck it in the end zone.
Here's a look at the touchdown. It's the flanker, this Flood guy right here. He's just going to run straight to the outside. He's going to look to the end zone to see if there's any receivers open. It's a zone. Everybody drops back. He comes off to the man, gets in the ball in good shape where he doesn't have to break stride. And that was a big score starting the 3rd quarter.
Now Colorado is in trouble unless they can get something on the board here. That ball is thrown down the middle, and Hessler's lucky that is not picked off because Glenn Steele was all over him. James Hall was in his shirt pocket.
And I'm sure John Hessler is thinking, we ain't going to do this again. Same story, 2nd half. He went in halftime. He got a lot of good information, Hessler did. So we're going to block them better. This is what they're doing. First play of the 2nd half. 2 guys are in his face and knocking him down.
John Stuckman, as you can see, 8 of 21 to 65 yards.
The defense, Keith, is just
Tough. It's tough.
just on him all over.
Timeout, Colorado. They've got the man behind him at quarterback is Adam Bledsoe, a redshirt freshman, the youngest brother of Drew Bledsoe, but he's not played. Now the Buffaloes hope they have things sorted out at 2nd down and 10. Ball on their own 28. They trail 17-0. Hessler's pass intercepted by Copenhaver. Out of bounds at the
It wasn't what Neuheisel had planned for the first series of the third quarter.
Michigan ball, 14 of Colorado, first down. Griese still got it. Cuts it inside. Down to the 10.
Good decision. There you go. Here's Copenhagen right here. So many of the times he's been blitzing today. This time he's going to drop back. Hessler has been rushed and battered. This time he thinks he's not going to be there. He drops off and makes the interception.
So that's a pickup of 4, second down and 6. Tough day for John.
I know the feeling, Keith. There were a few days.
Chris Howard. River Ridge, Louisiana. Here's Lynn Swan.
Nigel said at halftime, he talked about John Hessler, and he paid respect to the Michigan defense, but he said John Hessler is trying to force the ball. That's why it's going into the ground. He's got to settle down. Carl Durrell told me before he went up to the press box that until Hessler settles down, they cannot open up the offense. And people describe this team as being lethargic, unenthusiastic, and tired in the first half, Keith.
Third down now and goal. Here's Griese looking, getting some pressure. His pass is away. It's a touchdown. Russell Shaw. Baker for the point. At 8 minutes and 42 seconds to play in the third quarter, Michigan in total control right now, 24-0.
Again, the initial play is not working right here. Now it's messed up. Somebody's in there. Big play, Brian Griese, keeping it alive, getting outside the pocket. Somebody's open. Okay, I'm going to give it to him. Shaw gets down, releases inside. He's supposed to go to the outside. Now he stops, finds an open area, stays there. That's just good adjustment by Shaw and Griese.
So the Wolverines are sky high right now, and the big crowd of 106,474, which is the 7th largest. Wolverines cash in the turnover as Copenhagen stayed at home and intercepted. Heck, he could take Scott and Jeff with him, and you'll still buy.
Take all the brothers out to dinner.
2-yard line for Marlon Barnes. To the 25. America's biggest road show. UCLA Bruins. They've been talking about Michigan's preseason schedule. I'll tell you what, Washington State, Tennessee, and Texas.
Yeah.
For UCLA.
Yeah.
Hessler loses the football. Michigan's got it.
No, they don't. I think he had 2 fingers held up.
Did it? He was pointing the other way with the arm, though, and it's going to be Colorado keeping it.
He was pointing the other way. He couldn't lift his arm straight up. So he was kind of pointing that way with 2 fingers.
So they keep it at the 21.
This is it, Kate. This is the pressure, the Michigan defense that has set the tone for this game and has harassed John Hessler. There are blitz coming from Sword, 93. That shakes him up a little bit. And then Williams knocks it loose. Copenhagen almost got it.
Hessler puts some air under the ball, lofted to the sideline. Stigger's over there, covered by the other number 2, Charles Woodson, covered like a blanket. And the play does not work. So it's going to be 3rd down now and 14, and the Michigan defense is just destroying Colorado.
Well, you're exactly right, Keith. And you know, John Hessler is Neuheisel's quarterback. There is no question about it. But he is struggling, and it's not all on his shoulders. You know, it's not out of the question to put in the backup quarterback, Adam Bledsoe, and let him go in and be conservative with him, just to get Hessler out of the game and settle him down, and then put him back in next possession.
On 3rd and long, up the middle of the field, almost intercepted.
That is a rattled quarterback right there.
So the crowd roars. And Colorado will have to punt it away. Nick Peach in. And the beleaguered Buffalo offense goes to the sidelines. Woodson is waiting. That's a good kick by Peach. A lot of air on it. High hanger. Woodson calls fair catch back at the 39-yard line. And there Michigan will take over. 40-yard punt, no return. One of the better seats for this football game, obviously inside the Bud 1 airship, aerial ambassador of the King of Ears, flying high over Michigan Stadium as the Wolverines go to the attack. And Anthony Thomas, that freshman, is in there again, being seasoned a little bit at a time. I was supposed to say the best seat in the house in the air Bud ship, but I'm sitting in the best seat in the house. Tom Goss has just been named the new athletic director at the University of Michigan. He played for Bump Elliott in 66, 7, and 8. And he's like the rest of us. He's a little rounder than he was then, but I'll tell you what, watching this game today as Thomas carries again and picks up a couple of yards, he's got a smile 9 yards wide. There is a time when he played here for Bump. And now he has come back to step into a chair where he will have control and run and organize and keep building a $38 million athletic budget, the biggest budget, I think, in the history of anywhere in sports in this country. Steve Frazier is shaken up a bit on the play and will come off the field. But let's welcome officially Tom Goss as the new AD at Michigan, and you got to like what you're seeing, Tom.
Keith, I love what I'm seeing. This 24-0 shutout so far is just what any AD would want on his first day on the job.
Well, 106,474 people ain't bad.
I can count that also.
You've given up a career. Didn't give it up. It was your choice to leave business. We'll continue in a moment. Not much here on this third. A little draw, a little delay. It gets about a yard. But you left private industry to come back to your alma mater. When Paul Bryant did that, he said Mama called. What brought you back?
Well, Lee Bollinger, our president, called, and when he called and asked for me to come back and help with our Michigan program, when you're a loyal Michigan alumni like I am, you just have to listen and go do it.
Well, you haven't really been away from Michigan because you've been active all across the country for them ever since you played here. And here's the punt by Vincent. Good one. He's kicked well all day. And the return by Trotman will get him up to across the 28, about the 23-yard line. It's an enormous chore you have in front of you because there are a lot of problems in today's college athletics, but I haven't heard one single soul say they weren't anything but happy that you've come back home. So good luck.
Well, thank you, Keith. And I think we have the opportunity to keep our program on top and just drive it forward from this point on.
Very good, Tom. Nice to see you.
Thank you, Keith.
Look forward to spending a lot of time with you.
Okay.
With a voice like that, he should be in radio.
Maybe he'll when he gets tired of AD and he can have this. Here goes Hessler trying to make something happen. John gets up across the field, keeping the ball. That's a penalty flag. They hit him out of bounds. So tack on 15 yards personal foul, and that's a big play. Tommy Hendricks hit him out of bounds. So Hessler, totally frustrated, pulled it down and took off.
Exactly, and John is looking for a place to start. He needs something, and that scramble and the flag on top of it will be something to build on. That's Hendricks. He's a true sophomore getting an opportunity to play this year. That's just a little bit late on the hit. But Hessler is looking to ignite something. There is no question that Colorado can put 24 points on the board.
So the ball is at the 44-yard line. Buffaloes have not surrendered. No. 5:40 to go in the third quarter. Throws that hard down the middle, complete to Anderson. Chris Anderson will have 9 yards on the play inside the 35. So if the Michigan defenders relax too much, they'll hear the old scoreboard clanking.
Well, the thing defensively that Jim Herman has to decide is, do I continue playing the way I played the first 2 quarters and a half of the third quarter? Aggressively, blitzing some, mixing it up. Or with a 24-point lead, do I sit back and just play it safe? Don't put my corners out there one-on-one where I may give up a big play.
Change in. He's close to a first down, but he's at least a football short of it.
Here's a look at the quarterbacks. Hessler having the tougher part of it till now because of that Michigan defense, and Brian Griese 18 of 22 and the 2 touchdown passes.
Half a yard short on second down. Got him open and missed it. He had Cheverini over there by himself. There's another penalty flag thrown back where Hessler was knocked down. It could be a hold, or it could be a personal foul, or it could be roughing the passer.
Might be all of those.
Might be all of those. Summed up in late hit. We were talking to Tom Goss a while ago. He was the first fellow from Tennessee.
On the defense.
Yeah, roughing the passer.
First down.
Tom was the first from Tennessee to come to Michigan and play football. And of course, Lloyd Carr was born in Tennessee, came to Michigan when he was about 10 years old. Well, there's a young fellow named Eric Brackens, who is a freshman fullback here at Michigan, also from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, which is not very far from Knoxville. It's on the way up toward the Smoky Mountains. I think that's where Dolly Parton came from. Pigeon Forge.
I don't know, Paul.
Dollywood is just around the corner.
I can't help you there.
Penalty flag as they set up for this play, and it stops play. And the official stops and says something to Phil Savoy on his way. The linesman threw it. Now he's talking to Jack Teets.
Dead ball. False start on the offense.
So somebody was moving.
Here's a look at the Buffalo's possessions today. They had 8 of them in the first half, 6 punts and 2 interceptions. The bottom 2 are the 2 possessions of the second half. They had an interception and a punt. Not much done today.
On this possession, you had the run by John Hessler. Then you've had in this possession 2 personal foul calls against Michigan. So that's 30 yards right there. Buffaloes are working now at the 25-yard line on first down and 15. Thrown down the middle, incomplete. There's a penalty flag. The deep man saw it. The deep man saw it. He threw the flag from back around the goal line because the umpire was very close to it and did not see it. And one of the Michigan players came in and spun the would-be receiver around. But they're going to say the ball was tipped.
Pass was tipped.
That's the line of
There's no
scrimmage.
pass interference.
And there is no pass interference. I didn't see the tip, but I did see the man spun around.
Good call by the officials. They got together, and if the ball is tipped,
You got a Michigan man shaking up on
Jones,
the play.
he is the one that that defended on the play.
Yanni Jones,
You got the air knocked out.
sophomore linebacker from Potomac, Maryland. So Mays comes back, number 26 at that spot. Second down and 15 from the 25.
Colorado could get one in here, Keith. It would do a lot towards getting some momentum going in their favor.
Savoy's in motion. They are relentless. James Hall, the first man. Fizel followed. Then Mays came along.
Take a look at the top of your screen. Number 90 is Fizel Jenkins. Hall is 56. Look at Jenkins just get right around him. There's somebody in the pocket right now. He tries to exit the pocket, and Hall, 56, was there. You need some protection. It's not all Hessler's fault.
The loss is all the way back to the 41-yard line, where it is third down and 31. 4.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Hessler's pass is completed to the 35-yard line to Savoy. But that's far short of where they needed to go. It'll be fourth down. We have a punter coming.
Field goal.
We have a field goal kicker coming. Jason Leslie, who's been doing the kicking off.
This will be what, 52? 52 yards.
3:40 to play in the third quarter. Trying to get some points on the board. Leslie's a barefoot kicker. He's got a lot of leg on it. And he made it. 52 yards for Jason Leslie, and the Buffaloes finally got something on the scoreboard. That is a career-long field goal for Jason. Now here's John Saunders.
Tom Osborne told the troops, hey, we got Central Florida. Don't look forward to next week's game at Washington.
Right.
But those are 19, 20, 21-year-old kids. Don't tell me that they're not have one eye looking forward to next week.
Well, Central Florida is not a gimmick.
Dante Culpepper, one of the better quarterbacks in this country.
They're not easy. They're new. But they've been getting better and better and better. You know who was over there originally when Central Florida started getting themselves organized and getting into the game of football? Bill Peterson.
Really?
Yeah.
At Central Florida.
Pete was over there for a while. I don't think he coached. I think he did. Lou Saban was over there.
Well, he was everywhere. I mean, Lou made a lot of stops. He had a lot of stickers on his luggage.
Yeah, but that's a couple of wise old heads when you're putting a program together. 35-yard line now, where Colorado will kick it off. It's 24-3 ball game at 3.5 minutes to play. Clarence Williams. Buffaloes are trying to cool off and trying to get themselves organized. It's been a hard day for them so far. Very little grass on this plain. High kick. 10-yard line. Williams. Clarence is caught and taken down by number 40, Rashidi Barnes. It was Rashidi Barnes who had that big interception that got things going last week in Boulder for the Buffaloes. Monday night, live at 9 Eastern, 8. Up comes again. He's got him. 2 and open.
There's the same play. Fourth time they've run. The little drag bootleg to the right.
Oh, it's a fine day. The tight ends are having a fine day. 3:17 to play.
Same time, same station. Here it is. Tuman going across. This time, it's a blitz. There ain't going to be as many defensive players in the backfield. Reese is going to be rushed. Look at the top of your screen. Wide open. Sutter with the touchdown saving tackle.
Reese, same play action. He's going big this time for the Marbles. And it is just incomplete. High Streets had drawn double coverage, and the man who went all the way deep with him was Sutter, and the other one was Washington.
That's a nice call by Mike DeBoard, the offensive coordinator. They've been using this same style of rollout, hitting the tight end. This time they brought the wide receiver back across behind him and threw it deep.
Marcus Knight comes in now. He is a sophomore from Sylacauga, Alabama. Took a wrong turn. Wound up in Michigan. Second down and 10. Little dump off to Chris Howard. Little one-hand catch by Chris. And pick up about 4 yards on the play. Looked like the ball might have come out.
I think Colorado may have it. Well, it may be changing hands in there. If the official's got to go in there. If the official has to climb in there and look.
That's Michigan's ball. I tell you what, Ryan Black was in the middle of it. He was thrashing pretty good for it, but Zeman wound up with it. Jeremy Tooman in the ball game today. A career high 126 yards in receiving. That's more than the entire Buffalo offense has produced so far.
And I think probably most of that yardage is on that same play. A little bootleg drag to the right, and he just rambles down the field.
Third down and 6 now for Michigan. Ball on the Colorado 38. Out of the shotgun. Greasy has it tipped at the line of scrimmage. I think Terrell Cade might have been the man that got his hand on it and slapped it away. It'll be 4th down, and they're thinking about it. Of course, Brian Greasy is the pooch punter, and they're pretty much in pooch position right now. Pooch meaning knock it up in the air, kick a knuckleball up there, and let that thing flop around and bounce around, and somebody's back there and tries to catch it, he might not.
Yeah, you're on the 38-yard line. Don't kick it in the end zone. Just kick it inside the 15 or the 10-yard line.
And being a quarterback, of course, they can't overcommit, because if they give him the whole field, he'll complete the pass. So he just knocks it up in the air. It's knuckling around and knuckling around. Look at that bounce. Look at that bounce. And they got it. They kill it down on the 1. That's a perfect pooch punt.
Well, he spent a lot of time last year pooch punting when he was the backup quarterback to Scott Dreifort, and I don't know where he learned that either. The backyard was kind of small, so maybe that's where he practiced this.
So the beleaguered Buffaloes come out now trailing 24-3 with 1:52 to play in the 3rd quarter. And John Hessler lines up at quarterback, first down just outside the 1. Ball is handed to Herschel Troutman, and Troutman will get out near the 4. Here is Mr. Lynn Swann.
Bob, I hate to tell you this, but during the pregame warm-up, Lloyd Carr was watching your son punt. And I saw him just kind of hit one like he did there, kind of rolled around inside the 20, and Lloyd looked at me and said, you know, Lynn, you got to be a pretty bad punter to have this job.
You're exactly right. Yeah, it's true.
Second down and 8 now for Colorado. Buffaloes trying to find something. Out to the 5, and that's it. Marcus Ray locked him. Now it is 3rd and 6. Almost have to throw it.
Well, you're not going to have many more possessions, like Keith. You're looking at having maybe 3 or 4 or 5 possessions, and you're going to need 3 touchdowns in those possessions if you shut Michigan out. So you got to do something when you have the ball.
Giverini's in motion. Go the other way with it. Stiggers gets it. He's got a first down out to the 20. And might have been long gone except for Marcus Ray.
A good point, Keith. And that's a good pass to throw coming out of there, because your chances of being sacked on a quick drop 3 steps aren't great. And if you hit the slant, maybe a guy like Stiggers can break one, and he almost did.
Marcus Ray, of course, is from Columbus, Ohio. Found his way to that school up north. Ball thrown to the sidelines, completed again to Stiggers. So all of a sudden, they've discovered Stiggers, and he's moving the chains for them. Charles Woodson plays the field side, and he made the play defensively. 20 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Ball rests on the 28-yard line. The band is resting. The crowd is sitting on their hands with a 24-3 lead. They try Trotman on 2nd down and 3, and he won't get it. He's a yard short. They're looking at 3rd down. So they'll let the clock tick away, and we've played 3 with Michigan leading 24-3. And ABC Sports presentation of college football back after this word from our ABC station. Here we go to the final quarter. The ball is on the 30-yard line. Colorado possession. 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, they need a first down, Keith.
This may be a backbreaker right here if they don't get it. Trotman. Oh boy. That last little surge was just enough. Just enough. So they keep the ball and we go to John. Here's the pass drilled. And the fight for the first down marker is a little bit short for Phil Savoy. Savoy's a pretty good sized guy. He's 6'3", 200 pounds. But he had a couple of Wolverines wrapping him up, and he comes up a yard short on the reception.
All these Buffalo receivers are good size. Cheverini 6'2", over 200. Anderson is 6'4", 215. Stiggers is the only one that's short. He's 5'7".
Andre Weathers, who has been one of the veterans in that secondary and played well today, was involved in the melee there with Phil Savoy, and he's hurt, and time is taken for him.
Three, and that turned into 14 opponents' points. The other thing that jumps out is the passing yards for the Buffaloes, only 103. Michigan with 339 total yards.
Well, how about the other big boys? There are a lot of games being played tonight that are of considerable importance. But they've turned on the cool zone stuff now to cool everybody off the sidelines. The temperature getting up around 75 or so today. And Andre is walking off the field. Looks like he'll be all right. But there are several teams involved in your top 10 rankings that are involved in ball games tonight. And so you're going to have to wait until the wee hours of the morning probably to sort it all out. Weathers is dragging his leg as he comes off the field.
Well, he's dragging them both, Keith. I was going to say, I thought he first had a hamstring, but if he's doing it with both, he may have cramps.
Yep. So here's what we were talking about a moment ago about your rankings. Florida and Penn State. Penn State playing today, and they're winning. Nebraska, actually, believe it or not, was the only top 10 team that was in trouble. There's an interesting ball game being played in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Stanford, North Carolina.
Yes. Michigan State winning big.
Boston College has taken the lead over West Virginia. That's a surprise. Hessler's in trouble, trying to step away from it and can't do it. Glenn Steele, 81, and Josh Williams, 91. The pressure people inside.
Again, the defensive line, Keith, dominating the Colorado offensive line. They're doing it with just 4 linemen, putting pressure on Hessler.
So they've got him looking at another 3rd and long.
Steele coming from the outside. It's Cook that he runs around Cook. And then Williams gets the sack.
Hessler throws, it is incomplete, intended for Toller. And Toller drew a sandwich. Ray was one of them. I mean, it was a lick.
Well, Neuheisel kept going back to the slants, but there are some intelligent defensive backs in that secondary. Marcus Ray said, enough of this. He's the safety. He saw it coming. The timing was good. He was there.
And here's Nick Peach for his 8th punt of the day. And he's at a number of them up around 40. Most of them around 40 yards. Woodson, however, is waiting, and that's not exactly good news. But it's a good kick. Woodson at the last second calls fair catch, and he get a penalty flag thrown with the back judge, who was standing pretty close to him.
Yeah, I think they're going to call that one of the Buffaloes got too close to the punt returner.
Fair catch interference.
Yep.
5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, now, Charles Woodson waited until the very last second.
Doesn't make any difference. You still have to give him a chance to catch the ball.
But give Charles credit for being effective.
It's true.
2 to play in the ball game. 24-3. Michigan has the lead. Wolverines have the football at their own 36-yard line. First down. Clarence Williams. Ridden down by Rashidi Barnes. First down, Michigan. Down at the Colorado 48. Here's John Saunders. Okay, John. Power up the other way. Tight end moving. Go that way. Williams outside. One man turns inside 2 yards. You know who's done a pretty good football coaching job? Penalty flag on that play is Tommy Tuberville down there at Ole Miss.
Yes, he has. That's a good point.
Penalty flag is at the 39-yard line.
Please disregard the flag.
We will. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Here's Lynn
thank you.
Swan with Rod Payne.
Thank you very much, Keith. Rod Payne was captain last year, center. You're looking at this offensive line for 3 quarters. How do you evaluate it?
Well, they're young, you know. They came out with a little jittery, but once the coaches got into them and they used their technique more than anything, I think, you know, the attrition set in, and you can see it by the score.
Is that what gets them through technique, not relying on the emotion in the ballgame like this?
Definitely. Anytime you got young guys in there, they start off fired up, hearts racing 100 miles an hour. But once they settle down and realize that these guys wear cleats and uniforms just like they do, they get right down in their technique.
Now, this is a pretty good defense they're going against for the first ball game.
Yeah, it's very, very good defense. You know, the game plan was to attack them and run a little off play stuff. I think it's working really good.
Rod, thank you. And of course, you told me that when you first started for Michigan, you gave up 2 sacks.
I gave up 2 sacks, so this guy, he's better than me.
Much better.
Yeah.
Okay, Keith.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Nice to know that Rod's doing well.
Yeah, he was the starting center at Michigan for 3 years.
Pass complete to Russell Shaw down the middle. Shaw was wide open. Pass was on the money. It's first down, Michigan, Colorado 35. Steve Frazier is back in there, and that's the man that Rod was talking about. Steve had come out a little while ago, bunged up some, but he's okay now.
Here's a linebacker blitzing on this offensive line. Watches a lineman are going to slide over and pick it up. That's the center, Frazier, 64, who saw it coming and slid out and gave Greasy just enough time.
All right, they got Streets and Shaw to the bottom of the picture here. Anthony Thomas is back on the field. He's got the ball. Runs through 1 tackle. But the second wave gets him. Ball at their own 36-yard line. First down. Clarence Williams. Ridden down by Rashidi Barnes. First down, Michigan. Down at the Colorado 48. Here's John Saunders. Okay, John. Power up the other way. Tight end moving. Go that way. Williams outside. One man turns inside 2 yards. You know who's done a pretty good football coaching job? Penalty flag on that play is Tommy Tuberville down there at Ole Miss.
Yes, he has. That's a good point.
Penalty flag is at the 39-yard line.
Please disregard the flag.
We will. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Here's Lynn
thank
Swan
you.
with Rod Payne.
Thank you very much, Keith. Rod Payne was captain last year, center. You're looking at this offensive line for 3 quarters. How do you evaluate it?
Well, they're young, you know. They came out with a little jittery, but once the coaches got into them and they used their technique more than anything, I think, the attrition set in, and you can see it by the score.
Is that what gets them through technique, not relying on the emotion in the ballgame like this?
Definitely. Anytime you got young guys in there, they start off fired up, hearts racing 100 miles an hour. But once they settle down and realize that these guys wear cleats and uniforms just like they do, they get right down in their technique.
Now, this is a pretty good defense they're going against for the first ball game.
Yeah, it's very, very good defense. The game plan was to attack them and run a little off play stuff. I think it's working really good.
Rod, thank you. And of course, you told me that when you first started for Michigan, you gave up 2 sacks.
I gave up 2 sacks, so this guy, he's better than me.
Much better.
Yeah.
Okay, Keith.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Nice to know that Rod's doing well.
Yeah, he was the starting center at Michigan for 3 years.
Pass complete to Russell Shaw down the middle. Shaw was wide open. Pass was on the money. It's first down Michigan, Colorado 35. Steve Frazier is back in there, and that's the man that Rod was talking about. Steve had come out a little while ago, bunged up some, but he's okay now.
Here's a linebacker blitzing on this offensive line. Watches a lineman are going to slide over and pick it up. That's the center, Frazier, 64, who saw it coming and slid out and gave Greasy just enough time.
All right, they got Streets and Shaw to the bottom of the picture here. Anthony Thomas is back on the field. He's got the ball. Runs through 1 tackle. But the second wave gets him, and he'll get a yard on the play. Hannibal Navies says, "How do you do, Mr. Thomas?" And after Anthony got through spitting out all the grass, he said, "I'm fine." "21 of 27 for 258 yards. And he's rolling downhill now.
Yeah, what Michigan really wants, Keith, they have enough points. They just want to take some time off the clock, make first downs, and then, and finish it off by getting a touchdown.
That's a ball thrown behind Russell Shaw. And Russell trying to turn back inside to make the play, and not a particularly good pass. It didn't work. Regional coverage.
Here they come.
They try to beat it by handing the ball to Howard. Chris Howard can't work his way through the traffic and will go down after a yard. So on the 3rd and 8, they don't do much with it. And it's time for another one of those pooch punts.
Well, you're on the 33-yard line. The field goal would be 43. No, I'm sorry, it would be 50. 50-yard field goal. So looks like they may try one.
They may try one.
Yep.
Because Feely's coming out.
Yep.
Well, you might as well, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if you get it.
You fail, if Colorado gets it
if he
back
gets
on the
blocked
32.
and ran the other way, that's the thing you got to consider that too.
It's 49 yards. It's short. He didn't quite get all of that. And so they come away with nothing at 10 minutes to play in the game. Line, the Colorado Buffaloes will go to work now. They're in trouble. They're down 24-3 against what appears to be one of the better defensive football teams in the country. Hessler's pass is intercepted by Downey Jones. And Jones comes back inside the 30 to the 28.
He's trying to hit the receiver over the middle of the field. Oh, I know that feeling. Frustration. Here's Jones right here. He's going to drop back. The receiver's going to come in from this side over here. Watches. He's going to drop straight back. Get pretty good protection. Thinks he's going to throw it around Jones. And Jones actually does a nice job of see the ball coming inside. You got good feet. Linebacker with good feet can make that play and good hands.
Frazier being pursued, pulls it down and gets to the 20. That's a pickup of 9 yards on the run. And we're at 9:35 and counting.
Well, they finally covered that little bootleg by Michigan. and Tuman coming across. But I know what he's thinking. It's one of those days, John, and every quarterback that's been down the road a few times has had those kinds of days.
Handed off to the up back, Chris Floyd. Not much there, but he may have the first down. Now there's a penalty flag. Penalty flags against Colorado. Personal foul, and we'll spend a moment with John Saunders. Surprised at that. I'm as surprised at that as I am really at what's happened here at Ann Arbor, Michigan today.
I am too, Keith. Michigan coming in, playing their first game. In fact, the last Division I school to play. All 111 of them have already played. They hadn't played. Colorado had.
There's Williams racing for the corner and gets him inside the 5. Just short of the 4-yard line as he tried to cut it back inside, and Hannibal Davies would have none of it, neither would Rashidi Barnes.
You know, Lloyd Carr has a lot of experienced skill players on offense coming back. Their 2 wide receivers are starters. They have Scott Dreisbach right there, right next to Lloyd, number 12. They had Brian Grease, Tom Brady, another quarterback. They have running backs coming back, so a lot of skill. The question was their offensive line. If this line develops, this could be a good offense.
Second down, just inside the 5. Williams going north and south with it, and will be near the 2.
Dreisbach there, number 12, signaling the plays in.
Broken hand. Yeah, is it broken? His hand broken?
He had a wrist problem. He was not a football thing. It was off the field. He was picking some boxes up and did something to his wrist. I think it's all right. He missed some practice time.
Third down from the 2, 3rd and goal. That's Chris Howard, and Howard I'm not even sure he got to the line of scrimmage. Hannibal Davies, number 8, is on the bottom of that pile. So you're looking at 4th down, and here comes Craig Baker with a kicking tee.
Saw Bo Schembechler outside a little earlier at halftime. Sure, he's smiling at this.
Oh, yeah. 19 yards. Good. So it's 27-3 now with 7:16 to play in the ball game. So a dominating performance so far by the Michigan Wolverines over the number 8 ranked team in the country, the Colorado Buffaloes. And the Buffaloes are confused, shaking their heads, frustrated, angry. I'd like to at least put some points on the board to go home. And there's the mark that can bring that out to the 35-yard line now and put it in play. Tonight live at 6 Eastern Time. That's all tonight on ESPN, starting at 6. Colorado the attack now from the 35-yard line. Hessler hits, he throws, and it's almost intercepted. Almost picked off. Joaquin Fizel had Hessler in his grasp just as he threw the ball.
All day long, Hessler's been getting hit. This offensive line has not given him much. The Michigan defense, 20 plays resulting in no gain. 7 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, 3 interceptions.
The fellow who almost made that interception, number 5, was James Whitley. He is a freshman from Norfolk, Virginia. And another one of the true freshmen that the coaches just get warm all over when you talk about it, because he is some talent. That ball is off the hands of the receiver inside, Chris Anderson, and could have been picked off by one of the backers. Brady Brooks had his hands on it. Ian Gold is in the ball game too. Maybe it was Ian that had a piece of it as well, but it went off of about 3 sets of hands.
The best thing that Rick Neuheisel and John Hessler can do with this film is go back, study it, see where we can learn from it, say it's probably never going to be this bad again, and go on and get better.
Well, let's see if they put Stiggers in a foot race here. Give him time, won't give him time to throw. They dump it off instead to Marlon Barnes. And Marlon Barnes, the running back, getting a screen play to the right side, will take it for a first down at the Michigan 45-yard line.
That's a good call by Neuheisel. When you have tough pressure up the middle of those defensive linemen, try to slide the back out to the flat area and hit him with a screen.
It's important, I think, Bob, to restore some order here.
Well, you need, exactly, Keith, you're exactly right. You need to come out of here positive. If you don't win the game, at least finish it on a good note.
Pass is thrown to the sidelines to Phil Savoy. And Savoy, between Woodson and Whitley, will possess the ball at about the Michigan 36. They don't really go to a huddle. The wide receivers walk halfway in. They get the play and then go back to their positions, and they're 3 wideouts. Whoa, Hessler almost got out of there without the ball. That's thrown down the middle. That pass is caught. Nope. Bounce. Tennyson McCarty. Big guy from Boulder. Tennyson McCarty made a catch, was it 2 years ago, against Texas A&M in the corner of the end zone in Boulder. That was a wonderful play.
You always remember those tight end catches.
Oh, yes. Yes, I do. On the 36. 3rd down and 2. Barnes knocked out of bounds, but he and Hessler were both beyond the marker, and they've got another first down. 6 minutes. Your clock stops there, 6:09.
Woodson staying back, just playing it safe. All right, now he comes up and he's going to knock Barnes out of bounds. But that defense for Michigan, Keith, one of the things that Lloyd Card told us the other day is that he wanted the defense to create things for the offense. They didn't do that much last year. This game today, 17 of the points that Michigan has scored have come off of 4 turnovers by the defense.
First down from the 30 for the Buffaloes, and that's going away. There wasn't anything downfield.
They're calling intentional grounding.
Yep. Well, he had a man in the general vicinity, but throwing it 15 feet over his head didn't help his
That's
call.
not enough to have a man in the area. It's got to be in the area. It's got to be deemed that he had an opportunity to catch it. When you throw it this high, you know, the only thing Rick can say is, hey, it slipped out of his hand. It's a screen to the right. Barnes, number 9, is going to slide to the right. There's a man out there. Brooks is out there. I'd say that's a good call.
Pretty high.
I mean, it was 10 yards out of bounds, too.
That was a Ryan Duran fastball into the screen. That's what that was. So the penalty puts it back on the 46-yard line. Hessler coming back. Josh Williams has been in his face all day, and Williams broke through again.
This is really frustrating when the quarterback gets outside the pocket and nobody is pressuring him. You've got 4 receivers downfield, and you don't come up with a completion. Because he had plenty of time. The receivers had a lot of time to get open, and nobody got open.
I don't think he had anybody to throw to. Did he?
No, nobody got open.
We're at 5:55 to play in the ball game. 27-3 Michigan.
Carl Durrell, the offensive coordinator, says he thinks that this Michigan defense, whose backs are the best set of defensive backs that he's played against coming back, and a lot of them were back in the country. I don't think he'll change his mind after this game.
Whoa. Boy, that one almost went the other way with William Peterson, a freshman from Uniontown, Pennsylvania. Oh, my goodness, he hit him right on the hand. Here's Swanick.
Well, throughout this ball game, his receivers have not been working downfield, working hard to get open, to come back to him, making themselves a viable target when he needs it. This is a team sport. No matter what the individual does, 10 other guys have to be pulling their weight to help that guy out. And I don't see the whole team helping John Hessler.
Play without the ball. You have to play without the ball.
Amen, brother. I'm with you, Lynn.
High hanger. Drifting toward the sidelines as the penalty flag downfield at about the 21-yard line. Let's see what that's about. Remember, we've got regional action coming up for you right after our ball game. One of the games to keep your eye on, that's a call against Michigan, is I think UCLA at Texas. It'll be interesting to see whether or not James
Yeah, I like
Brown's
that.
the quarterback
I like that
for him.
game, Keith. I like that game.
On a receiving team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
John Makovic, the last year in the championship game, Big 12 against Nebraska. What a great coaching job he did in that ball game.
Tom Brady is your quarterback now for the Michigan Wolverines. He turns and gives the ball to Chris Floyd. After the penalty on the Wolverines, they start at the 7-yard line at 5.5 minutes to play in the game. Tom Brady, a 6'5", 215-pound sophomore from San Mateo, California. And he moved up when Dreisbach got the wrist injury. Brady stepped up as number 2 behind Brian Griese.
It's good to see Brady getting some playing time too, Keith, because he's been another talented quarterback in this Michigan group that is frustrated by not getting an opportunity to play.
Brady gives the ball away to Chris Howard. Howard's had a pretty good day. The Michigan running backs have not broken a real big run today, but you can see that may not be too far in the future, but this young man has had himself quite a day.
What do you think, pizza or steak?
I have been saving the name of a restaurant for him. It will probably cost you $100 a head. It's a lifetime moment.
Well, he's been waiting for a long time.
That's right. Here comes Clarence Williams, but Clarence is caught behind the line of scrimmage, whistling in to do it. This is a name you want to remember. Tuck this one away. His name is Ty Gregoric. He is a freshman, a true freshman from Spokane, Washington. He's 6'3". He's 250 pounds. I watched an interview with him last night, and it was startling how composed and poised he was.
He seems pretty anxious and pretty excited about getting in a little bit in this ball game anyway, Keith. But
here's the punchline. He was 19 years old yesterday. He looked pretty good to me. Jason Benson is in to punt now for Michigan. Herschel Troutman is waiting. Got a little pressure on him, but he got it out of there. That's a tail dragger. It'll roll. And Herschel has trouble picking it up. And number 36 in the blue made him pay for it.
Aaron Shade with the tackle.
Tight end. 27-3 ball game. 3.5 minutes to play. Michigan's got it in hand, and Colorado has the ball with Adam Bledsoe now in at quarterback. A redshirt freshman. Big arm, drills it, almost knocked Bill Savoy down. I think Savoy thought it was going to be intercepted and knocked away, and all of a sudden, whoop, it hit him right in the sternum, and he took off with it. Bledsoe is the younger brother of Drew Bledsoe, of course, the quarterback of the New England Patriots. Lists the Yakima, Washington as his hometown.
That was his first collegiate pass.
And it was delivered with authority.
You know he has a strong arm.
He's a big guy. You run north and south. There's a penalty flag. I think somebody might have got him with a face mask. He's 6'4", 215 pounds. And if he'd have just turned it and gone north and south, he'd probably gotten more out of it without the penalty, but the penalty is going to help. Yep. Face mask. 1-yard line for a first down now. Drew Bledsoe, his brother, went to Washington State, left after his junior season to go to the New England Patriots or go to Pro Bowl. Adam chose to go to Colorado. There's that strong arm again. I'm telling you, it smokes. And that pass is complete with almost 10 yards and a first down. Brody Hefner, the tight end who hasn't seen the ball all day. Brody goes up and gets that one. He's a big guy, a sophomore out of Del Mar, California.
I'm sure everybody out there is going to be asking, why didn't they put Bledsoe in earlier? It seems like he's moving the team, throwing the ball well, completing all these passes. He's got good protection. And the answer is, you know, Michigan is pulling back. They're not rushing as hard. They're not blitzing. The game is in hand.
And they've got some new people in themselves.
Well, that's true.
They're doing some seasoning.
Say next week will be a good week, Keith. I'm looking forward to seeing the Huskies of Washington and Nebraska up in Seattle. Florida State's going to have their hands busy at Clemson.
I just hope the Huskies and the Huskers don't crack the earth. They know the stadium might fall in the lake.
Peyton Manning and the Vols are going to play Florida next week. Got a lot of big games. 2nd down and 10. Bledsoe throws hard. Oh, that thing came in there like a 105 millimeter. Chris Anderson couldn't come up with it. There was a defender with his hands on the ball. It was a tough day. They're going to we're going to go to basic psychology on the plane home, I think. Yeah, well, no, it's right. It's good right there that he's laughing, and you know, he knows it's his job, and that Michigan is a great defensive team. They knew that coming in. They had trouble with them last year when Coy Detmer was there. That's right. You know, Coy had trouble with these guys, and a lot of guys had trouble with these guys. Yeah. Javon Green makes that reception, but there's a good tackle on the play by William Peterson, and he couldn't make much out of it. So Colorado now looks at 4th down, and those are the numbers for Jeremy Tooman, who had himself a career day. Jeremy had a nice day, and I think next week's opponent for the Wolverines, Baylor, probably he won't get the same yardage on that same pass play. I think he caught 4 of the 5 receptions was on that one crossing route with the quarterback kind of naked bootleg. That's going to be one of the plays they're going to be studying all week. Well, you got Baylor in between Colorado and Notre Dame. You better be careful. Bledsoe's pass is too high. It was intended for Chris Anderson. So 2:08 to play in the ball game. 27-3. The Michigan Wolverines have had a dominating performance in their opening game of the season. Charles Woodson. They threw the ball 40 times. They threw 5 times at Woodson. They completed 3. And he had one interception on him. They throw 40 times and they only go your way 5 times. Might get a little lonely out there. Not getting any action. Yeah, but that just keeps him fresh for when he goes over the offense. That's exactly right, and that's what Carr's philosophy is. The less they throw at him, the fresher he'll be, so we can use him in other areas. Anthony Thomas carried there. One of the things I guess you got to think about too is if those young people in the secondary, those freshmen develop and get to the point where one of them can start returning punts. Right. I mean, sure, you can see Woodson on the offensive side of the ball more, and he might even wind up playing on the offensive side of the ball on Sunday. But you have seen today a perfect example of what a real good defense can do for you in a college football game. There is no question. If you start with defense, build your offense, and then your special teams, especially in the Big Ten. You win with defense, stopping the run, and special teams. If you got a good offense or a decent offense, then you're gonna be all right. The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game are Hannibal Davies, the linebacker for Colorado, and Brian Griese for the Michigan Wolverines. I didn't vote. No, he didn't. Wouldn't let him vote. Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward the outstanding students for their academic achievements, a Chevrolet tradition for more than a quarter century.
Navy's had 11 tackles today. It was very obvious in the Colorado defense around the ball all day long. Griese 21 of 28 for 258 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception. Brady, nice soft pass delivered out to Anthony Thomas. And Thomas has a first down. Anthony Thomas, 6'2", 228. He'll get bigger.
He's a load, and he can run.
Clock running along now as we head toward the final seconds of the game. The coordinating producer of ABC's college football, Tony Tortorici. Today's game produced by Jay Rothman, directed by Chip Dean, our technical director Gary Larkins, associate producer Margaret Schaefer, associate director Fred King. Our statistician was Mark Amento. Our spotter was Kelly Hayes. Jim Licata, our technical operations manager. And the ball comes up. And the clock stops at 15 seconds. Aaron Wright. And Colorado jumps all over it. Aaron Wright, there's another name you want to remember. I mean, he's a whippet. Ooh, you have to look quicker, you don't see it.
You're going to mention his speed.
Associate Director Fred King, our production manager Scott Silberman, our assistants to the producer Chapman Downs and Jason Lewis, our computer stats Craig Rothberg, and our sideline coordinator was Dave Hatter. Charles Copeland producing in New York, Calvin Haywood directing. They'll be there for a while.
Yes, they will.
Perhaps even take root before the day's over. Gary Boyarsky, and our New York remote coordinator is Bruce Clark. Adam Bledsoe looks and looks and misses. And he got 9 seconds to play in the football game. So the crowd starts to leave the big old house in Ann Arbor, Michigan. They go along anticipating the arrival of Baylor. Then comes Notre Dame on the 27th. And then they'll get into Big Ten conference play.
I wonder how many of these fans here today, Keith, after this win in their pocket, are looking past Baylor next week at home here to Notre Dame in 2 weeks.
Well, the team better not.
Yeah, well, you know, Carr will get that straightened out.
It's a matter of running out the clock. The longest kind of a day for the Colorado Buffaloes, but a glorious beginning for Michigan as Michigan wins it 27-3.